All right, guys. Want to welcome everyone to Hot Seats Thursday, early morning edition. So listen, guys, if you can see my screen, give me a 1. Want to make sure everyone can see my screen, can hear me okay. This is definitely early morning. It's 11 p.m. here in New York. If you are in Pacific time, it's 8 a.m. So
11 a.m.
11 a.m. We're trying out something a little different. So I want to introduce first off my cohort and Gregory Ortiz. He's going to be doing actually an incredible lesson today. Hey, Gregory.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
All right, good. So I'm like to see Let me ask you guys. So, we are in the OMG Way group is where I have it. But if you guys are not in OMG Way, you can also post some hashtags in OMG Assimilation. So I am going to be going back and forth between Assimilation and OMG Way. So if you guys are in here, we can do a hashtag. So guys, here's what I want to know. If this is your first time on a hot seat, either because you just joined or because this is the first time you can make it because it was early. I want to see a hashtag just joined or hashtag good time or something like this was a time you can make it. That I want to see because there's really not that many hot seats or even any webinars. We really do that early. I think Greg does them at 1 p.m. So if I get enough people that come on early this time and they say it's a good time, I may schedule some of them to do them this early instead of always late at night, because I know the guys in Europe, and other on the other side of the world, you can't make them because it's like 2-3 in the morning, and I understand that. Can't hear well. Okay, so is anyone else having a problem hearing me? Just let me know in the question box if you are. Okay, so always do morning. Elizabeth says less distractions. Yes, easier to focus. All right, we got a lot of easier to focus. Hearing me fine. All right, yes. Jeff says less distractions. So good. Okay, so we got good time. Just joined. And then let me go over here to these groups. I got too many groups that I'm part of here. And then OMG Way, we got fantastic time. What's that?
I said Mr. Popular. You're in too many groups. Look at you.
I guess, I just like to spread myself around a little bit. Get in a little group here, there. Get on some Snapchat. Just a social butterfly.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, it's 1 a.m. in Australia. Well, we'll mix it up. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. So again, like I said, we have an incredible lesson at Gregory. I know he worked hard on it, and we've been going through the whole lead gen ranking in multi-city for probably, I think, the last 3 or 4 webinars. We've been hitting it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. Many of you know I do lead gen, right? So where I just sell the leads. Well, we're going to go into a different direction today where it's similar setup, but it's different. Instead of selling the leads, it's actually going to be, doing rank and rent, what a lot of people have heard of. But as some comments I've gotten, a lot of people are having problems actually getting it to work right. So that's what Gregory's going to talk about. So we got a bunch of people on. Let's do this. Gregory, what do you say before we go right into it? We'll let some people come on. Maybe we can hit a couple of questions or possibly even a hot seat. What do you say?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So let's see. So if you guys want to... Yeah, we got to wake everybody up, man. This is like Sleepy Town right now. So Put your questions in the question box. Don't put it in the Facebook group. Put it in the question box. And if you want to come on a hot seat, let me know what you want to talk about on the hot seat, and then we'll bring you on. So good. All right, let's check it out here. Okay. Okay, here is one from Elizabeth. She says, I'm building Google Map citations with keywords. Do I need to space out the timing when I make them? I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what citations you're using. A lot of citations, you can't really use a keyword because they're going to ask for the business name or link. What do you think, Gregory? You do much with these citations?
No, not really. I usually just outsource that and I have them build it to the company name. I've never done it with like a keyword because I want the company to rank in the map pack. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And two guys, like the way I do citations is it was in, I think it was last week or the week before, where I showed how I use Bright Local to find the most relevant and most authoritative citations. And I just use those. So I don't go for maps. I go for quality.
Google Maps, by the way, Joe.
What's that?
She just added in the chat box, it's a custom Google Map citation. I guess that's why it's a keyword.
Okay, yeah, I don't do those. So I don't know. That's something like you probably asked that on assimilation. I don't do custom Google Map citations. I kind of do it the old-fashioned way. Here's this guy's on, man. This guy's always on, and he's always got these crazy questions. I should half boot this guy off. Gregory, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw him posting too. I think he's totally got to go.
He's got to go, man. Let me see. It's Mr. Dan Anton. So let's bring Mr. Anton on, and he has joined us. Hey, what's up, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm good. Just got back. Just trying to run this morning.
All right.
All were fails, so I'm back.
Good deal, man. Good deal. Well, it's good to have you. If you guys don't know who Dan Anton is, he's the creator of crowdsearch.me and backlink indexers and multiple other softwares. So he's been doing SEO since the word SEO was invented.
Big Snapchatter, too, just like Joe.
Big Snapchatter. His snaps are snaptastic. So
that's right.
You want to connect with him on Snapchat.
Only Joe would say snaptastic.
That might be in the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. And if it's not, I'm sure Joe will rank it in there. So.
Hey, yeah, it's a new word that I'm coining. So, all right. So, Dan, we're just going through some questions here. So
okay.
let's
do my best to help. I've got some background noise here with this demolition going on, but hopefully it doesn't get too loud for you guys.
No, I don't hear anything. I don't hear any background.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Sounds crazy back there.
It looks crazy. Just a pile of concrete rubble.
All right, so let's see. I have a Chavdar asks. I have a client that his Google My Business is claimed from another person, and no access to that person. What is the best way to claim that Google My Business listing back? Call Google support. Yes, you can simply get in touch with Google support and let them know. So, you got something to add to that, Dan?
What's that?
Oh, I don't know. Did you have a comment on that?
Oh, no, I was going to say, yeah, you just contact Google support. We've had to do that in the past, and it works. Yeah, they'll just ask you some things about your business, or they may resend you out a card. You can try to claim someone else's business, too, if, Black Hattie. Like.
I've done that many times. I own like 20 businesses that don't belong to me that no one claims.
It's a technique.
All right. So Kristen asks, is there a difference between ranking in Google and in Bing, Yahoo, and other search engines? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, they have a different
traffic.
algorithm.
What's that? You guys both spoke at once.
No, go ahead, Greg.
No, I just said they have a different algorithm, but usually you end up ranking the same eventually with all of them, at least in my experience. But you
Yeah, a
do
lot of
rank
times
differently.
Bing, Yahoo follows suit with Google. Sometimes it's a little different, but for the most part, they just kind of lag behind whatever Google's doing.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, if you're ranking in Google, you'll be up in Yahoo and Bing before long. And that's where the lion's share of the traffic is anyway in Google. Corey wants to know, Gregory, who do you outsource your citations to?
I'll pull it up right now. If you want to jump to the next question, I'll just pull up the guy's gig and then I'll jump right back on. I just gotta find it first.
Gregory's going to add that gig into the chat box. Okay. Let's see. What is the difference between a PBN, a backlink, and citations? Justin, I'm gonna assume that you're pretty new, so we could probably give you a brief answer, but then I would suggest that you go through some of the Greg's videos that he has on the foundational videos he has, and then also the Assimilation Light videos. So, what is a PBN, a backlink, and a citation? A PBN is basically a website that you create that has authority. So, it's usually an expired domain, and then you rebuild it, and then you use that to link to your money site. And a backlink is just a link that points to your money site, and that backlink will transfer power sometimes, transfer authority, and a citation is like a local directory where you put your name, phone number, and address. So, I don't know, Dan or Gregory, if you got a better explanation, you can chime in.
No, I mean, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, then you can just, like, in terms of backlinks, then you also have different types of backlinks. You have, like a natural backlink or the URL itself as a link, or you can have, an anchor text link. So you can, and there's a lot of different ways to mix up the way your backlinks look. And then you get into different ratios and this and that. So, I mean, yeah, you definitely probably want to go through those foundation videos if you're asking these kind of questions for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, how do I link the social profiles to my money site? Well, that one's pretty. How do I link those to my money site?
Link them in terms of what? Like, I mean, if you have a Twitter profile as an example, you just put a link on your Twitter profile page back to your money site. Now, if you're talking about like syndicating whatever you post on your money site to automatically get posted to your social, is that what he's asking?
Yeah, I think it's Kristen. She's asking that, and then she's saying, do I create a page, and what else do I do then? So I think it's like what you said, Dan. You put in the profile, and if you create a Facebook page, there's always a place to put your link, usually.
Yeah.
I think
just link them all together, and then on your money site, put your Twitter page link, your Facebook page link, your Google, whatever you're doing. Just don't try to, when you're doing brand type stuff like that, you're not trying to hide. You're trying to showcase all of your brands and all your profiles. So it's fine if they link together.
Yeah, it's fine. And every social property is going to have a place for you to drop your link. You just have to find it. All right, how do you have a Google My Business if you have one location but want to rank in multiple cities? I kind of covered that about 3 weeks ago in the hot seat. So we kind of talk about that there, so you can check that one out. Joe, are you willing to give up the name of the web designer you work with? Elizabeth, I work with several web designers. One guy that I've been working with lately is Mark, and he's been really good. It's the guy Cotton uses. Mark, I don't know his full name off the top of my head. He created that AMP plugin, so you can try him. What's that?
Yeah.
What?
I believe it's Oh, Scott.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, whatever that is. So, you could probably find him around if you just put his name in there. And then, also Jeff Gilden is a web designer who's really good. So you can try those guys out. But I would also suggest that you go, if you're getting into local SEO and you want to get local clients, go and find a local web designer that's good. They'll give you a good price that you can kind of work back and forth with. He can give you business, you can give him business. That's what I prefer. Okay. All right. Well, how about a hot seat, man? Does anybody want to come on a hot seat?
Scared. It's early.
I know.
Oh, we got someone jumping in right away.
Tim Thai. Okay, so Armando. Before I bring him up, Armando, the videos are all in the hot seat replays. Under my name, you just go to the replays. There's one where I have a screenshot of a keyword tracker. So I don't remember when it was. I think it was 3 weeks ago. But okay, so we got Tim Thai. So let's bring on Tim Thai and see what he's got for us. Hey, Tim, what's happening?
Hey, what's up?
So, what can we do for you, Tim? Tim, where are you calling from, anyway?
I'm calling from Oakland, California.
Oh, wow.
That's early there.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Well, I just joined last month, and I've been going through some of the assimilation light and over the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting started building my website, but I'm not entirely sure how to do the anchor text when I'm writing up the meta descriptions.
Okay. What I would do is, let me come in here, is did you go through Greg's videos yet? Down here where it's, if you see my screen, I have to find them in here. Greg's pillar, they're like the 4 pillars of SEO.
Passed them, Joe. You passed them.
Yeah, they are, yeah. So
I watched the first.
Okay, so this one, in his 4 pillars of SEO, he talks about the anchor text, the titles, the URL. Then he talks about website structure, all that stuff. So were you able to look at those? Did you look at all those videos?
Yeah, I only seen the first pillar, actually.
Okay. So what I would do is I would go through there, and he kind of breaks it down and explains it pretty good. Is there a specific thing you're confused on, or is it just you want to know how to do that? The anchor text and all it, I mean, do you want to do you have a specific question, or is it just in general you want to know how to do all that?
Yeah, just in general. I don't have a specific question yet.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I would say just go through those videos. I mean, unless you guys have any other advice for him or questions.
No. It's the same.
Not really.
Yeah. I just go through those videos, start editing up your website, start trying stuff, and then if you start running into hitches, then just post in the Facebook group, or you come back on and we'll go through it. But it's, this stuff is brand new for you, so it's going to take a little time. So, yeah, I just go through that, and it should explain a lot of the stuff away for you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thanks, Tim, for coming on. All right, let's meet Tim. All right, well, there we go. That was an easy one.
All right. Who's next?
Let's see. I'm just go through. Armando, it's not under. Armando's asking where the replays. It's not under Stephen Floyd. It's under my section under Hot Seat Replays. All right. Where can you find complete PBNs? Where can you find complete PBNs at reasonable price? I don't have a lot of time or a lot of money. Listen, I have a new service where I find and build PBNs for you. And my price is $5 cheaper than Gregory Ortiz. So listen, I get all my PBNs from Gregory Ortiz. So Gregory, you're still billing out the PBNs for people, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to No Imitation, actually, I'll just put the link in here, but it's noimitation.com/complete-ppm. I'll put it in.
Okay, yeah. So Gregory's going to drop that in the question box or on the Facebook group or whatever, and you can contact him. That's where I get all my PBNs from. Okay, so let's get another hot seat here. Let's see. Justin West. Let's see what Justin West is up to. Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, hello. Justin, how's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing?
Good.
I have you guys up and on too on my phone and my computer, so I need to take one out so I'm not echoing in my ear. Hang on.
Yeah, you got two here.
Okay, so my question is this. I've been in OMG for over a year now, and I dabble some. I've got a couple good clients and whatnot. My website was at one point listed in the snack pack. Back when it was the 7-pack, I had spots, the bottom 2 spots, and I was like number 2 for my city SEO agency. And when Google went to the 3-pack a while back, all of a sudden I cannot find my listing in the maps anywhere. Like I can see it in Google My Business. I don't see any penalties or anything against it as far as I can tell. And my website still ranks number 1 or number 2 on page 1. But I just cannot find myself in the maps at all, even when I just kind of search around for it. I mean, let alone in the snack pack on page 1. Is there some sort of a setting I should be for that lets Google know that hey, I'm relevant for the term SEO agency? Like it pulls up a lot of other companies, and I've got those phrase SEO agency on my Google my business page. I've got a couple pictures that's the title of them, and they're geotagged and everything, but for some reason it just does not want to find me.
What's your title? What's the title of your Google My Business page?
I believe it's the name of my company, hundreds of customers dash like Kansas City SEO agency.
All right, so here's the problem. Now I don't know if this is the problem, obviously, because it's hard to tell. But if you have your keyword stuffed in your title, that can get you in trouble. So, like, if the name of your business is whatever it is, 100, I don't know what it was, then that should be the title. But if you stuff in Kansas SEO, then sometimes they look at that as spammy and they'll take you off the listing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I'm
not pulling up right now. Matches exactly to your business.
Actually, it's not. It's just my business name, Hundreds of Customers LLC. So it's not in there at all.
Okay.
Oh, on your Google My Business, it's just 100 customers. All right.
It's just the name of my business. So, and I can see myself on the map. At one point, I think I had turned on like just without the direct location, so it was service area. But I've gone in recently and changed it to make sure that I've got a pin on the map, and I've got a couple of custom maps where I'm pinned as well. So I would think that Google knows that I'm there, but for some reason they don't want to return me for that keyword phrase at all.
So what is it? Kansas City SEO is your term?
Kansas City SEO agency. It's a little more long term, but I think if someone was actually looking for an agency, it might be the term that they'd be looking for.
So this is a keyword you want to rank for, and you said you have this keyword on your geotagged on your pictures and in the description, even though descriptions aren't. And you're saying you come up nowhere here.
As far as I can tell, no. I should be somewhere in the middle. You can see Cotton Grammar's there.
Yeah.
Are you ranking organically anywhere?
Yeah, I'm at the top. I'm number 2 when you guys were searching a second ago. If you go back to just.
Oh, okay, I see it.
So here's the thing too. I mean, what I would do, so I've had a problem like this before, and if you guys have anything, you could chime in, Gregory or Deanne. But I've had a problem like this before. Where, so I was ranking up here, but yet I was not coming up in the maps anywhere. So what I did was I just contacted Google. I was like, hey man, I'm not coming up in the map and in my maps listing anywhere. Is there something wrong? And it was like some kind of hitch, the way I had my address or something. So I mean, you could try that. Let me see if you come up hundreds of customers.
I just tried that too. I didn't see it.
I'm the number one just for that phrase.
Yeah, but there's something wrong because your map listing isn't
coming up.
So you have a problem with your map listing. See that?
Mm-hmm.
So if your map
the thing was, I used to be in the map though. Like that's the weird part. Is I used to be in it. Back when it was a 7-pack, I had 2 spots on page 1. I didn't even spam that. I just kind of naturally I wound up there. So at one point they accepted me.
I mean, your keyword's not even in your. Well, it might not be because of my keyword here. Yeah, but like you're not. There's something wrong because your map listing isn't coming up, right? So it's not coming up here. Is this you right here? This is you right here, right? Or yeah.
That's one of them. I have 2 locations, so that's one of them. That's actually the first one I built like over a year ago, and that one's just like a big service area. But then I have a second one, and they're both in Google My Business, and the other one that has a definitive map area. And so those were the 2 that I had ranked.
All right. Well, when I put hundreds of customers, this is the only one that comes up, right? And so if we and you're in Kansas City, right?
Yes.
So, like, if everything was okay, but all right. So which one is yours? This one's yours right here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're both mine. So the bottom one is the one that's more of a general area. The top one is what I'm trying to get back on the maps. So it's got reviews, 7 stars, 7 ratings.
It's coming up here, but see, the problem is when you put it up here, it doesn't come up, right? So, like. What's going to happen is if you put in if your Google Maps and everything's working correctly, what'll happen is you'll have like a little map square right here, and like if we do, so you don't have that, is what I'm saying. So what I would do is there's something going on with that map listing to where it's not coming up for your keyword and there's really something up with it. So I'd find out, why it's not coming up when someone types in your name into the main Google search.
You'd recommend contacting Google and just saying what's going on?
I mean, that's one way you can do it. That's what I've done in the past. Let me see. I mean, what about Gregory or Dan? What do you say?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely an option. Just, it's a little more difficult when you're talking about an SEO site, so hopefully I don't dig any deeper than that. But,
I mean, I don't have anything.
How are your citations?
They're pretty good. I've used a gig similar to what Gregory did about a year or so ago. I used WL Marketing, and I used one of their higher level gigs. So I've got a number of citations out there. And again, I was in the maps at one point. In fact, if you go to my website, I have a testimonials page where I feature my LinkedIn stuff. But one of the first things I show is at one point I was ranking 3 times on page 1 for Kansas City SEO Agency.
Yeah, but you're not anymore. So you were, but something went wrong, and now you're not. When did you create that second listing?
Last year sometime. I don't remember exactly when.
How long after you created that second listing did this one stop popping up?
Again, it was only like a few months back that this stopped popping up, and I didn't do any really big changes or anything. It was back about the time they went to the snack pack from the 7-pack.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that because the two listings are conflicting, So I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of different things.
Your Google My Business page also is just Hundreds of Customers LLC, whereas your organic title is starting with Kansas City SEO - Hundreds of Customers. So it's not 100% that that's the reason, but the fact that those 2 aren't exactly matching could be an issue as well.
Okay. So you recommend either changing the title of my Google My Business or changing the title of my website?
I would just want them to match up, whatever that is.
Okay. Well, I can start there, and I'll contact Google and just kind of I'll take it slow. I don't want to don't want to damage it because I think I can get right back in the snack pack if I just fix, one or two little things that are probably off. I just didn't know.
And you went through and you checked that there was no errors in your dashboard, like for map listing or phone number or city or there's no errors at all popping up in your dashboard?
As far as I can tell, I've seen no errors. I've seen no warning messages. I've gone through there's 5 main tabs inside of Google My Business, and I've gone through all of those.
Right. Because usually because something happened with it. Something happened to knock it off, and it's like. So that's why because it's weird that you're not in Google. Your map listing is not in Google. So that's
Google's just not seeing the association right now between your website and that map.
And it's just weird, especially because this one says Kansas City SEO Agency all over it. It's verified and published and everything. So yeah, and I made all of my citations are consistent with this address. So the 9200 Indian Creek Parkway, etc. I was very conscientious. I went through your training, very, very slowly and did it one step at a time. But it's like Dan said. You just got to get them correlated and make sure that they match each other. And it will show. It will show up for a suburb of Kansas City. So I look up Overland Park SEO Agency. I can find it on the maps there, but I just cannot find it for Kansas City SEO Agency, which is just.
How do you have it set? How do you have it? Do you have it as a 60-mile radius? Do you have it from your location? How do you have your parameter set, the miles and everything else, when it asks you, what your service area?
Yeah, let me see here. I actually was fiddling with it yesterday after listening to Cotton on assimilation. I says serving customers within 50 miles of. So they have an option for service radius and for physical location. I left physical location on, but it says I also visit my customers at their place of business or whatever, because obviously I don't really have them come to me. So I have.
Take the physical location off. Yeah, take the physical location off. Because unless you have people coming to your address. Is this an office that you have and people come to your address?
No, it's a satellite office. I don't ever go there. When you say take the physical location off, you mean take the radius off, or?
No, uncheck that people come to your office.
Okay. I think I just added that yesterday. So I also serve customers at my business address. Uncheck that. You think that will help?
Yeah, well, I would. I don't know. I would try it because,
It seems like having that on there would make it more important to know my address. So, if you're a plumber and you only make house calls, they don't really need to know that your plumbing office is also your home or whatever. So when you uncheck that, then you don't necessarily show up, but you can still show up in the rankings. I would think that knowing a physical address would be important. I don't know.
I could also change where you pop up too. If you're not in the center of Kansas City and your office is on the outskirts, then they're going to put the people that are closest to the center. But if you visit people at their home location, then your location doesn't matter as much as long as they fit in the radius. You understand what I'm saying? It's like if you're Googling for a
when
coffee.
You look up, but when you look up Kansas City SEO Agency, they show the little map there, the snack pack map, and I should I'm in that area. My physical location would be right there.
Yeah. Listen, you could leave it on there if you want, but if you don't have a location there and someone goes to that location and reports to Google that, hey, man, this guy is not even here. See what I'm saying? Whenever you don't have a location that people show up to, you don't want that address because people will hit directions. They'll go to your office and say, hey, he's not here, and then it just takes one person to report that you don't really have an office there, and that screws you over. So,
gotcha.
You could leave it if you want, but I'm telling you.
Well, I took it off. At your advice, I just took it back off.
But, as long as you have a nice homeless guy standing outside saying that he's Kansas City SEO, fine.
Yeah. I'll get on. I'll get the guy with the sandwich board out there.
There's no absolutes. It's just trying to figure out what's going on. It's like they're trying to diagnose the problem. So
yeah, you're at a trial and error stage now, trying to figure out what to change to fix it, and just kind of isolate the variables now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like there's so many different things you can do, and it's like one of those things where you could even put, I don't know, and this goes against what I said before, but it's like whenever I have a problem like this, I try all kinds of things. Like you could even try putting SEO in your name, but you would have to change the title and everything of your website. So if you're hundreds of customers SEO, then but you can do that, but you'd have to have your website that all your name everywhere it's mentioned on the website pretty much follow with the word SEO. Then you could put the word SEO in your Google My Business. So that might give you a little more relevance because all these guys have SEO here. But
yeah, everybody we're going against is Kansas City SEO, Kansas City SEO.
Right. Like, so if you put that name in there and you had it on your website, then you could get away with it. But again, it's like a fine line to where or you're spamming. Like you could say, oh, look, Joe, you said don't stuff the keywords, but these guys did, and they're ranking. I mean, there's no absolutes, yeah, but then they could also get dinged too. It's like what you can get away with sometimes.
Do you think it could be, now my website URL, I tried to follow what Cotton did, and so I have 100customers.com/Kansas-City-SEO-agency, but that actually just redirects to my homepage. I don't have the ability to do like identical homepages the way he does because I'm using a Genesis WordPress theme. Do you think I should just have it go directly to hundredsofcustomers.com, or should I try and leave on the geotagged URL slug? Does that make sense?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Here's the thing. You're ranking organically for Kansas City SEO agency. I don't know how much traffic it's bringing, but you don't really want to mess with that too much because it's what's already ranking for you, right?
Yeah, there's about 800 searches a month for it.
Okay, so yeah, you don't really want to screw that. Honestly, at this point, like just based on everything that we're looking at, I would check your NAP, check your citations, maybe try throwing a few PBNs to some of your citations, see if that does anything. If it doesn't, I think probably just call Google because it just seems like something's got screwed up here because if everything is linking the way you're saying it is, and I mean they should be making that correlation between your site and the maps listing, and the fact that it's not popping up even when you type in, Kansas City SEO agency paired with your brand name, it's not showing up in the maps. There's a problem, right? And it might be something that has to be a manual fix now at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that about sums it up. And thanks, Dan. And when you contact Google, make sure that you communicate with somebody. Like I wouldn't just send a message over. I'd like, there's different times you can do text or you can request a phone call, and that's what I would do. I wouldn't just do like send me a message and hope they get back to me. I'd actually try to get somebody on the line.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Hope you get that worked out, man.
Yeah, I'll let you know if I do.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming on.
Alrighty. Yep.
All right, so next is, why don't we do this? Let me mute Justin here. All right, well, we're already about 11:45. So, Gregory.
I'm just now drinking my coffee.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Gregory, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
I
was just letting you guys, I was letting you guys take care of that because I don't really do too much with maps myself, like for clients, because I don't really do that many clients. I know you guys have done more experience with that than I would, so I've just been quiet in the background, learning as well.
That's okay, because you're gonna be tearing it up pretty soon.
I don't know. It's a pretty crappy lesson, Joe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Setting expectations low.
That's right. All right, so listen, Gregory's.
If everyone ends up hating it, then I'm at least I warn them, and if they love it, then hey, it worked out well. So
yeah,
everyone's probably just miserable right now because it's tax week. Everyone's like getting ready to write that check out, I think.
Man, except for Dan because he lives in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well, I still have to pay a little bit.
Oh, please.
All right, so let's do this, man. We need to get some hashtags going for Gregory, man. We need a good hashtag. I want to see some hashtags. Who's got a good hashtag we can do for Gregory to get him pumped before we bring him on? Does anyone have a good one? Anyone in the audience at all? Mueller? Hashtag coffee cup. I don't know about that one.
Hashtag Robin.
Hashtag Robin. Who said that?
You do hashtag Robin leaving. I won't teach a lesson.
Come on, Ortiz. Come on. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Come on.
All right. Now, if you guys do hashtag Joe is Robin, I'm ready.
No, if you do that, I'm going to shut the webinar off. All right. Let's do hashtag.
We're just not getting anywhere.
Let's do Joe Pringle. It says Ortiz the Beast. Let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hashtag Ortiz the Beast.
That's what she said.
No, don't do Ortiz smells like Beast. Ortiz the Beast.
Sex Panther.
All right.
Ortiz is the Beast, Gwen says. All right. So listen, we need like 100 of these. We got a lot of people on for 11 a.m. Man, I might make this a regular gig, you know. So I have to get up early to prepare and everything. So pretty good. All right, we got some hashtags going here. I want to see a lot more. Let's do OMG Way and Project Assimilation. I want to see them in both. Superman. Elizabeth gave you a hashtag Superman. So.
Oh, yeah. She knows what's up. All right.
What time it is. All right. All right. So, listen, I'm checking both of these. All right. So, let's do this. Gregory, my man, I am going to – are you ready to take the screen?
Yeah, just let okay, I finished hiding everything. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah,
Listen, guys. This is where you guys would want to you want to take notes. You want to pay attention. You know, if you're drinking coffee, go get your coffee right now and you know, get ready because Gregory has an awesome presentation he put together for us. And though he says it's crappy, it's I know it's not crappy. It's pretty good because
yeah, I'm sure I'm building a rank and rent site and I'm just modeling off of what he's done. You know, what would Gregory do is what I ask myself when I build a rank and rent site.
All right, that's it. When I wake up in the morning, I say, what would Gregory do? And I try.
Yeah, I started building something out I thought was all kind of magical, and I was like, what the hell am I doing reinventing the wheel? I'm like, let me see what's already working out there. And I was just like, yeah, Gregory's got this, you know, he's got these things working for him. I'm just going to kind of model what I'm doing off of him.
There you go. So there we go, Gregory. Right, guys. You got it.
Thank you for the intro. I'm definitely pumped. Hopefully everyone else is too. So I personally work better when I'm kind of showing these things through slides. But I have two screens so I can see all your guys' questions at the same time. I only ask that you kind of hold off on questions a little bit later on just because some of the slides lead up to other ones, okay? So if you guys are ready to go, just give me a fired up or something in the chat box just so I can see it so I know everyone's ready to start rocking and rolling. And can you guys see my screen? Someone's saying the screen is black.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I see it too.
All right, cool. Awesome. So rank and rent. So first off, in case you're not aware of what rank and rent is, I'm going to go over that really quickly. So rank and rent is a strategy where you rank a web page or a site, but it's usually a page. And then you go ahead and you leverage that page's ranking and rent it out to a client. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a really quick look at a live example of this by looking for Boston Chiropractor in Google, right? So we're going to go ahead and search for it right here. Actually, let me go incognito. Okay, so you guys will see the snack pack here, but right underneath the snack pack, right here is my site, nationalchiropractorsdirectory.com. See it's ranked #1 with a 4.1 star rating. Now, when I actually click this, you're going to notice something. There's my site, but it only showed for a split second. Now it's actually loading a client site, but it still has the exact same URL up here, okay? So this person is paying me $500 per month for their site to display over mine in the listing. And I'm going to go over exactly how that's done and everything else a little bit later, but I just wanted to break that down for you guys really quickly, okay? Let's jump back into here. So just as I said, as you noticed, I went ahead and clicked on it, a different loaded. So what that was is something known as an iframe overlay. And I know a lot of you are going to be wondering how the site was able to do that, but I'm going to come back to that later. I just pretty much wanted you to have a quick overview so that way you know what we're going to be doing for the rest of the lesson. Okay? So first things first, picking a niche. Well, picking a niche is oftentimes the biggest struggle most people have. I know it certainly was for me, and even now, it's kind of a pain in the butt. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're not going to let something small like that hold us back. Now, are we? So for Rankarin, I found that most businesses can be used for it. However, the best converting ones are ones that are based on a profession, okay? Such as lawyers, dentists, locksmiths, podiatrists, pretty much any job that someone had to either A, go to school for, or B, take certain courses or be an apprentice of someone's, something that was or is a profession. Now, you can go to broad niches like I did with chiropractor, but honestly, a smarter choice is going to be to niche it down a little bit more. So, for example, instead of lawyer city, I'd go after something like tax lawyer city. Okay? Does that make sense to everyone? If it does, let me know in the chat box. Just want to make sure I'm not losing you here. Oh, looks like everyone went to sleep, Joe. I'm going to go now.
No, they say it makes sense. You gotta scroll up. We got a bunch of yeses make sense. Yeah.
I see it now. All right, perfect. So after you have your niche picked out, you're going to want to go ahead and look at any related keywords for it in the Google Planner. So what we're going to do right now is go ahead and look at tax lawyer example and see what keyword planner has for us. All right. And here you are, tax lawyer. Click get ideas and look at keyword ideas. So one of the things that I like to do, I always like to look at the first 2 pages that Google displays just to see if there's any like relevant keywords for it, right? And then also, of course, sort it by competition just to kind of see what's there. So scroll down a little bit. See New York tax law, tax relief attorneys, and actually, sorry guys, looks like from yesterday I sorted by competition. I don't want to do that first. So let's do it how it normally shows you, which is by relevance. Okay. So as you see, there's tax attorney, tax law, tax lawyers, etc. Right? IRS lawyer, which is a good one. And just as Dan mentioned earlier, we are in tax season here in the U.S. I'm not sure about everyone in Europe. I don't know when that takes place. Do any of you guys know, by the way, when it's tax season for people in Europe? Dan or Joe?
I don't know. No.
I think they get taxed like all the time. I don't know if there's a season.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but this is definitely a good trend right now, I'm sure. IRS tax lawyers and things like that.
Yeah, this is actually something I jumped on about 2 months ago just because I knew tax season was coming. So we're going to go ahead now, just click on competition. Wait for it to sort. We want to take a look at low competition just to kind of get an idea if there's anything good out here. All right. So right here, you see this one, tax relief attorneys. So there's 14,000 searches for it, almost 15, and it says low competition according to AdWords, right? So for me personally, this is one that I went after I noticed this. So let's jump back into the lesson really quickly. All right, so after digging in, we saw there were some related keywords such as tax attorney, IRS attorney, taxation lawyer, and our golden gem, tax relief attorneys, okay? So now that we've picked out our related keywords to our niche, we're going to analyze if it's worth going after the original niche or anything that we found different, okay? So in this scenario, we're going to go after tax relief attorneys. Not only because AdWords said it was low competition, which is nice, it's not necessary, but it's nice, but also because I did a competition analysis of the first page for that specific phrase. So if you guys don't know how to do that, if you're kind of new, I highly recommend you watch the videos in your members area because just as Joe said before, you're going to be able to take a look at Greg's pillars and you'll be able to see how to analyze some competition, okay? I'm not going to go over that entire process since there's already videos made for it. So now we have our finalized niche chosen. So next up is going to be creating the site. And I'm also not going to go into how to set up a money site from beginning to end as far as getting logos and doing copy and all that because that's also in your training videos and there's plenty of those on YouTube. But you're going to want to go ahead and do those next. So after all that, what's the point of all this if your site is not ready to rank and rank? Well, one factor to keep in mind is going to be how to set up your site's permalink structure. So in SEO, most of us are used to setting up our WordPress sites as, /post, right? However, for Rank and Rent, I personally do category posts because I want each of the states to be the parent page for each of my cities. So my site will look something like domain.com/New York, which is the state, / the city and keyword or city, however you want to structure it. But you're definitely going to want to do category posts. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a little bit different. All right. So setting up our site like this, it's going to go ahead and give you the flexibility of when you link build to your state's pages, you're going to have some of that power transfer down to your city. So think of it kind of like silos, which is pretty much what it is. Of course, you'll mostly be linking to your city pages since that's where you're going to actually end up ranking. But you can link to the state pages here and there as well to spread the love, and they may eventually rank, which would allow you to actually rent out that state's page for even more money while maintaining all the city pages. Okay, now I know that can sound a little bit confusing. If there's anyone that just heard that and isn't sure what I mean by that, just give me a confused or something in the question box just so I can break it down for you. And if everyone gets it, that's fine, I'll move on. But I just want to make sure you understand this because this one point is pretty important. Okay, I see a couple of confuses. So what I mean by that is, let's say my site was, GregoryOrtiz.com. So I have my /state/city. So if I had Gregory Ortiz, actually, you know what? I'll just show you a live example just to make it even easier. It's much easier for me anyway, watching it while it's actually happening.
Yeah, I think if you show your your chiropractor, it'd probably help out people a lot because some people might not even know what a category is too, because some people are new.
Yep. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Alabama. Okay. So as you can see, there's my domain.com/Alabama. So this is the category. The category is the state. Okay. And then the post is going to be Birmingham. Okay. I'm not going to click Birmingham just because that page is rented out. So it's going to show a different one. But if you look at my search bar down here, you're going to notice as I hover over, it says /Alabama/Birmingham chiropractor. Okay, so that's exactly what it means. Now, what I meant by before about sending some love to your state page and being able to rank it, well, let's say I had like 12 cities listed here because there were only 12 cities worth going after since Alabama's a pretty small state. After I rent out those 12, well, how else can I make more money from it? Well, one thing I could do is after those 12 are already rented out, I can then rank for Alabama. So I can rank for Alabama chiropractor, which is the entire state. And you know very well there's going to be one chiropractor out there that's definitely going to want to have that listing. So that way when someone goes to nationalchiropractorsdirectory.com/Alabama, it's going to show that person's page. So therefore you're able to increase even more money than you made. Instead of going after just the cities, you can then also go after the states. Now, does that make sense to everyone?
Makes sense to me.
Okay, cool. I see a bunch of people saying yes. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect. So like I said, it's really important because you can make more money than what you already are, for example. All right. So let's jump right back in here. All right. So how are you going to go ahead and set up all your state pages? Well, there's many different ways that I've seen and different ways I've tested. So I've personally used clickable maps, plain text links, anchors. I've used drop downs, etc. But the big thing is to just pick one in the beginning and move forward with you being able to edit it later on. For example, on my chiropractor directory, I originally had it where it was just links. So originally, my state pages used to look just like this. See how it says Birmingham AL? It was a whole bunch of those for every single state. So it literally said Alabama, Alaska, etc., etc. It was plain, it was ugly, but that's how I had it. So I then came back a few weeks later and added each state's flag. So we're going to go ahead and jump right back to that so you can see how it looks different now. See, now instead of having just the words, I now have the state's flag. It looks a little bit better, right? Okay. So I know the number one question that I get asked in Source University group, because that website, National Chiropractors Directory, it's a public case study I have in that group. And people ask me all the time, well, what plugin does that for the flags? So in case you're also wondering that, the answer is none. I just use regular HTML and CSS. Okay, so there isn't, there may be a plugin that does it. If there is, I haven't found it, and I'm not using one, just FYI. Okay, so if you plan on doing that for any of your rank and rent sites, you might have to look for a plugin, but if there is one, like I said, I don't know of one.
Hey, Gregory, is there a way that people can get that HTML code? I mean, can they get someone to make it, do it on Fiverr, or is it a code? I mean, like if they want to do it, is there a way to do it? Or
you can easily, find someone on Fiverr to do it for you. I mean, it's really just a bunch of tables with images.
There's also a table builder plugin you can get, and then just throw in all the images in there, and you can kind of build it how you want.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good workaround. Yeah, like for me personally, before I joined OMG, I knew some HTML, so that's how I did it. But just as Dan said, there's plugins that'll do that for you, so that's even better. All right, so going overboard, okay? This is the one part I absolutely have to touch base with you guys on. So if you're like most people, you'll build a site that's all pretty, get it set up, and then start ranking it. And in my opinion, this is the wrong way to go about doing a ranking right. Okay, now before I get into why, how many of you guys on the webinar go into creating a brand new site, and you go in where you get all the graphics, you make it look as nice as it can, and you get everything ready to go before you launch the site and before you start pointing your PBNs to it? If that's you, just give me a hashtag me in the Facebook group. And Joe, can you let me know if, or Dan as well, can you let me know if there's some hashtags coming through? I have both screens showing my presentation.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Just want to see if there's anyone that does that, because I know I did that at the very beginning.
Yeah, I was muted here. Yeah, so
yeah.
I got, we got some hashtags coming through.
Okay,
on
cool.
OMG Way. Let's see. Yeah, me. Yeah, we got a few.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now I'm going to get into why I feel that's wrong for doing a ranking right. That doesn't mean it's wrong to do it for other, different kind of money-making ventures you're doing online, but for ranking right in particular, I don't agree with it. And the reason why is, to be 100% honest with you, the number one thing that annoys me in business the most is going to be wasting time. Okay? I don't believe in it, and will do every single thing I can to avoid it. That includes making a site looking all quote-unquote pretty at first. Well, the reason for that is because if I spent 20 hours making a site look fantastic on each page before ranking it, then later on I realized that no matter what I do, I just can't get the damn thing ranked. Or it's going to take more resources than I want to rank it. That's 20 hours of my life that I'll never get back, and I could have spent on other things making money. Okay, so as you can see with the chiropractor site, even though it's a public case study, and even though there are people that are currently renting the pages and paying me money, it still kind of looks like a skeleton. Okay, this is exactly how I do every single rank and rent site in the beginning, because I want to make sure first off that I'm able to rank a few pages before I make it pretty. Okay, now if a site can't rank, or if it's going to take me, like I said, more resources to rank than I want to get into, then I'm just going to scrap it and move on to the next thing. Okay, I want to ensure that I've spent the minimal amount of time and the minimal amount of money on a site if I'm not able to rank it. Like, doesn't it make sense to you guys, if you want to actually get something ranked, you'd want to spend the least amount of resources on it first before you verify that it actually can rank? If that makes sense, just let me know in the question box. All right, perfect.
Definitely makes sense. You'd be surprised how many ugly sites rank above all these pretty sites.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and two, man, that point, Gregory, just to reemphasize, I mean, I think that's a big holdup for a lot of people, and I think it applies for this, affiliates, all kinds of stuff. Is just get something going. So that's a point I hope everybody got.
Yeah, like for me personally, just as Joe said, for like even affiliate, for me personally, every site I do is not pretty at first. Like, prime example, most people know me for New York City SEO, right? That site is ugly. I have no problem saying it. It is horrid. I don't care. It ranks #1, right? Even though it's ugly, just as Dan mentioned before, there are plenty of ugly sites that rank higher above beautiful looking sites. Like the guy who's ranked #2, he's also an OMG, a good friend of mine. His site is beautiful. Mine is ugly. Mine just happens to rank above it. I always make sure that I can rank a site first while it's still ugly before I spend money hiring, a graphic designer or a web developer or something else like that. So just as Joe said, just as Joe said, it holds a lot of people up. You want to make sure it doesn't hold you guys up either, especially for ranking rent. I mean, you're trying to make money, right? Now, another thing, as far as schema goes, you probably noticed that when we Googled Boston Chiropractor, I had that schema star rating showing for each of the pages. And as we're on the site itself, there's also a star rating as well. Now, the reason for me doing this is to help increase conversions. Now, I had it without stars, and then I've tested it with stars, and for me personally, it works better with stars. So the reason for this is because both the potential client, once they're debating purchasing the page, they're going to say to themselves, well, you know what, it has a star rating. That's actually pretty good. Maybe I do want to go ahead and purchase this. And also the potential client of the person you're renting the page. Remember, once you rent this page out to someone, your quote-unquote work isn't done, right? You want this person to keep paying you forever. So for me, I want to keep these chiropractors happy. So I want them to continue to get business. So if I can do anything I can to help increase conversions, I will. Now remember, their site gets overlaid over mine. So their site might be hideous. It might be ugly. I don't know at the time that they're going to go ahead and rent it from me. But if I can help at all with helping them with conversions, I will. And the only thing I can do, since I'm not going to edit their site, is do that star rating. Okay? And as we all know, we want to hire someone that has good ratings themselves. So why not go ahead and get your pages ranked ahead of time before they get ranked? So all you have to do is just Google schema star rating, and you can open the link from microdatagenerator.com, and you can generate it, copy and paste the code. There's a bunch of plugins that'll do it for you, but I highly recommend you don't waste your money on any paid plugins. There's tons of free ones that'll do it for you. Okay? Joe and Dan, how do you guys feel about schema star rating when it comes to helping increase conversions?
I mean, it's amazing for increasing conversions. I had an inner page. I don't even know if it still has a star rating on it or not. I just did schema like 4 years ago on an inner page for Backlinks Indexer, and that thing just got such high click-through rate from that star rating in there. And, you know, it's kind of like a gray hat bordering black hat, because it's like, where are these ratings really coming from? You know, because they're just kind of making them up at that point. But it worked, you know, so don't hate the game. Or don't hate the player, hate the game, whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with Dan. I think it makes it stand out. I mean, even when you look at your listing, first of all, the stars pop, and then it gives you an authority. Like Dan says, you know, where the ratings come from. I don't think people even care or know, but they just know, oh, this must be good because it's 5 stars, because they're conditioned to see 5 stars as someone who's popular or good. It's like a condition.
Even now when I do a search and I see star ratings, I know they're being manipulated, but I still want to click on that listing.
No, me too. That's why I say you're conditioned. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and another thing too that I like is the snack pack of stars. They look the exact same, right? Like it's the same color and everything. So sometimes, especially on phones, you can kind of fool people to think it's included in it as well. So I've noticed that also helps conversions. But just as Dan mentioned, like, where do these stars come from? For those of you guys who have a command center, one of the things that I'm always doing in there is there's a I forgot the exact name of it, but there's a part in there where you're able to have people do services for you, and that includes, you know, like doing Yelp reviews, etc. I'm always throwing in, hey, go to this site, click on 5 stars, so that way I'm getting 5-star ratings from different parts of the United States or different parts of the world. So it's not all from like my IP, for example, if that makes sense. Okay, it's just a quick tip you guys can use as well for those of you that have Command Center. If you don't have Command Center, you can use a VPN. That's what I did at first before Command Center implemented. I used something like Hide My Ass, and I would just keep changing my IP and keep clicking myself 5 stars. Then you have those occasional jerks that'll give you 1 star, which is why that one's a 4.1, but whatever.
That was me, sorry.
Yeah. No, it was probably Joe. I know it was Joe.
It was me. I did that right before your presentation.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. All right. So choosing your first city. So now you've went ahead and got your site set up at this point. Hopefully you're doing a skeleton version like I mentioned, and you've got your schema on the site and you're ready to start rocking and rolling. So next step is going to be choosing your first city. Okay, now this is another part that a lot of people have struggled in Source University, specifically to pick a city. Okay, and I know I struggled with it at the beginning. So the first city I chose for my chiropractor site was Birmingham. So why would I choose Birmingham out of all cities? Well, the first thing I did was go to Google and I typed in state population and found a Wikipedia listing of all the states and their population. All right, so let's take a quick look at it. And you guys, I recommend do the exact same thing right here. Now here's their listing. Let me make the screen a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay. So as you see, it has them all ranked. Now, it's all 50 states plus the U.S. territories. So as you'll see, there's Puerto Rico included in here, as well as Virgin Islands, etc., right? But Alabama was kind of smack dab in the middle, okay? So that's the reason why I chose Alabama in particular, and then I niched down a little bit into Birmingham. But you guys can go ahead and take a look, and you can even sort it by what the population is, okay? You're going to want to make sure there's, a decent-sized population if you're going to be renting these pages, because that means you have more potential clients, okay? Let me jump back in here. All right, so as you saw, Alabama was in the middle. I wanted to go to a state that didn't have a ton of competition, going based solely on population. Okay, that doesn't mean it's not competitive in Google. I just went based solely on human population. I also didn't want to go with the lowest ones either because I'm pretty experienced and I know I can rank better than the average bear, so to speak. So I recommend that if this is your first rank and rent site, though, you start with the states listed towards the bottom, simply because they're going to be easier to rank and it's going to help you build confidence. Like, Dan and Joe, I know both of you guys are extremely good at ranking, but you definitely get some confidence every time you get a new ranking, correct?
Yeah.
Of course.
Especially like what you said about it being like starting off where it's not the most difficult. And if you just seeing it rank, you even if you rank a video or just anything, it gives you incentive, confidence to keep going.
Yeah, exactly. So after you have some confidence, hopefully you can get some income as well, so you can rank these things and hopefully rank them as fast as possible. Now, I see some questions coming in the question box real quick. Let me just take a peek at that. Someone just asked what's the link for the 5-star schema code. Like I said, just put in star schema into Google and you'll see a bunch of different generators that generate it for you for free. Okay? And someone's asking about Google My Business address. No, you're not going to use any Google My Business addresses for this because remember, I could have Dr. Dan renting my Alabama page today, but then Dr. Dan realizes, you know what, a couple months later, he doesn't want to use it anymore. He's okay. He has enough business, or maybe he can't afford it. So then, Dr. Joe comes along and he wants to rent it. Well, the address, how am I going to go ahead and change the name of the listing and everything else? I don't mess with that. So I don't touch any pack at all when it comes to ranking rent. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Okay, perfect. And I think I'm getting some feedback. Hold on one second. Let me see.
That might be me. Let me mute. Is this my mic? I have a drill right outside my window.
Yeah, I think it's you.
All right, I'm gonna mute myself here.
All right. Thanks. So after you choose,
Greg, I'm sorry I was muted, but like what you said about that Google My Business, that's a big difference between like selling leads and doing this rank and rent kind of directory. And I think too, if you did start doing Google My Business for your directory, I don't know, what do you think, Greg? I think you'd get in trouble. I think Google would catch on to that because it is kind of like a directory site. So I think it's kind of like a no-no for that.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely wouldn't do it at all. I mean, not only could it cause problems for you, but also like for your client, people are going to want to go ahead and go visit your client, right? Because that's the person who has an actual storefront that they're going to. Your Google My Business address or phone number or everything else is going to be totally different. Like you don't want to run into that kind of storm, so to speak. Okay. So after we chose our state, I went ahead and Googled a list of that specific state's cities, and this is what the cities look like for Alabama. All right, I went back to Wikipedia and looked up all different cities, and then I went ahead and then I sorted it by the population. And as you can see, Birmingham had the highest population. So there's Birmingham right there at the top. Okay, and you do the same for every single state that you guys want to look at. You want to make sure you're choosing cities that make sense for you, right? So, like I said, as you saw, Birmingham was the largest. Now, I went after that one first because in my mind, I wanted the population to at least be a decent size to make it worth my while for me to rank for. So after that, I went ahead and tossed it into the keyword planner to see how many people search for that specific term per month. Now, like I said, I went based solely on population, but at the end of the day, we're going to want to see how many searches it actually gets in Google. And as you can see, Birmingham Chiropractor gets 590 searches per month. Okay, so remember, it's a state that's in the middle as far as population, and it gets 590 searches per month. So it's close to 600 people. And for me, it was a pretty decent size for my first page to rank and rent. So I went ahead and I went with it. It also had low for AdWords, and like I said before, isn't always necessary, but it is always a nice little bonus. Now, ranking it. I'm not going to go over how to rank your first city, since there's tons and tons of extensive videos from Greg and everyone else on how to do it. But long story short, I use PBNs from this amazing seller, which is myself, shameless plug. And I use those PBNs to rank the page using the methods taught in your members area. Okay, you follow Greg's pillars and everything else in the training. Literally, that's all I did to rank all these different pages, okay, including the site itself. So as the rankings climb, as soon as it hit second page, that's when I decided to say to myself, okay, I need to get the site ready to start renting it out. So to get the pages rented and to do the overlay that you saw in the beginning, I use a software called Source CCS. Okay, it's from SourceWave, Alex Becker, myself. And here's what it looks like on the Miami page that's waiting to be rented, and I'm going to go over why it's effective. Okay, so we're going to look at the Miami page. And as you see, I have a video. So this video in particular, I wrote the script myself, and I hired a woman on Fiverr to just read the script. So this video cost me $5, okay? And I went ahead, grabbed a graphic with an arrow pointing to it, call to action. And this is what Source CCS looks like. Let me just refresh it, because I was playing with it yesterday. As you see, the schema star rating is here too. So right here, if someone is interested, they can click on Get More Details, which allows them to email me, okay, for any questions they might have. They can go ahead and rent it right away, okay. This one I just put 300 just so you guys can see it today. I'm going to rent it for more than that once I finally start ranking it. But they can rent it right away by clicking the button, okay. So remember, it's also really cool that I don't need to actually have interaction with the client if there really doesn't need to be. Like if they came across the site and they live in Miami and they're looking at Miami Chiropractor and they're looking at someone that's ranked above them and they come across this page, well, the video is pretty much telling them, hey, if you're interested in owning this page, you can rent it below. So they're going to go ahead, click on rent, and boom, the page is automatically theirs. I don't need to have any interaction with them, which is pretty cool, okay? More often than not, I will get an email from them, but sometimes I've had people just go ahead and rent it without any type of communication. Now, the really, really cool thing here is being able to see a demo. Okay, so if they click on see a demo, they can put in their email. And I just ask that you guys just watch the video you see me doing it. Please don't actually like test it yourself, because then I get a ton of emails, which happened last time. Because when you put in your own stuff, it's going to do the exact same thing I'm doing right now. But let's just do chiropractor.com. You click submit. And now it's going to give them a preview and show them what it will look like. Okay, so if chiropractor.com was their site, they're actually going to see their site get overlaid on top of my URL. Okay, does that make sense to everyone so far? Just let me know in the chat box. I want to make sure I'm not going too fast.
Yeah, I mean, this is a point I think probably have to sink in for people what exactly is going on here. Is what Gregory's doing is it's right. It's like they can put their own site on the whole. It basically becomes their site. So you're not, Gregory, I mean, you're renting out a spot, but it's not like you just create a page and they have to use your page. It's like people have access to their entire site through your site, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And once someone goes there, they can literally browse that person's entire site. It'll show every single thing. So even if you go to, see, I went ahead and I clicked it. They have their set up to open up a new tab by their URL. But it works. But let's go really quickly to Birmingham, another page that's rented, so you can see one that's actually rented. Because the demo only lasts about, I think it's 5 or 10 minutes, right? Because they're not going to get like the spot for free. But as you see, this is someone that's actually paying, and when you click on the actual links, like I'm browsing this person's actual site. Like everything about their site is loading, but it's still under my URL, just as Joe said. So they're able to do everything. Okay.
And this is done in, because people are asking how does this happen, right? And
yeah, so that software, Source CCS, it has code in it that allows another site to get iframed over my specific page. Okay. And if any of you guys are not familiar with like what iframes are, just a really quick lesson on it is sometimes you've gone to a site and they might have like a little area in the middle that you can click on, you can browse, and other things load inside of it. All of that is being done inside of an iframe. The difference is the entire page is being iframed on top of it. So think of it like you have your cell phone, right? And you put a case over your cell phone. At the end of the day, your cell phone is still in the middle, but what people mostly see from the external view is the case, right? Because it's covering it. That's pretty much the same thing here.
Yeah, I mean, a YouTube is an iframe. Like, the video isn't loaded on your site. You're just streaming from YouTube, basically.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's what just happened here with that one. All right. So this is pretty much, this would generally be the ending, and it's the part where most of you would expect me to say something like, okay, everyone, you know how to set up your site, you know how to research the keywords and rank them, best of luck to you, right? But what's the point of all that if I don't at least help you with a tactic to actually make you some money? Okay, so before I even get into it, I just want to see if there's enough people interested. So if you actually want me to go into a tactic that I know for a fact works at helping you make some money with a rank and rent site, give me a hashtag show me the money in the Facebook group. And if there's enough of them, I'll do it. If not, I'll just end the lesson here, because this is typically where I end it all the time whenever I'm teaching this.
Oh, I want to see. I want show me the money. Let's see who we got. Let's see. We got to get. Like,
people are typing it in the search box too.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, don't type it in the search box. I want to see it in the Facebook group. I want everyone else that's not on this webinar to be jealous that they're not going to be able to see the money. So all the people that are at work, they're going to be like, oh man, I'm over here working and these guys learning how to make money. We want to make them jealous, okay?
Let's see. We got a couple of people here. They're coming in, so they got to come in faster though, man. We got to have at least 100. Show me the money.
Yeah, I don't want a couple. I want a lot of them.
Yeah, we want at least 100 of these.
Because if I'm going to give away one of the ways that I make money, I want to make sure enough people want to know.
Oh, no. Yeah, so they're coming in. We're getting them. We're getting a lot of them, so.
Okay, cool. Joe, you just let me know when you think it's enough people.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I think they're coming in, so, okay. I mean, it's morning, so people are a little slow maybe,
No, well, you know what? Money doesn't stop for anyone. You can't be slow even in the morning.
That's right. Money. Oh, here it comes. Okay, here we go. Oh, David Yuan put in a nice show, a nice little guy screaming here, show me the money. So I think we got it going. So yeah, I think we got enough. Cool. We got Assimilation and OMG Way posting it. So
perfect.
Sounds good.
So a tactic that works absolutely phenomenal for me prior to cold calling a business is one thing that most people don't think of, and I don't know why. What I do is I put their website overlaid at the beginning before they even get a phone call, okay? And then what you do is you give them a call, and usually this is where most people get stuck, okay? The dreaded quote-unquote gatekeeper. Now in the chat box, how many of you guys hate when a gatekeeper picks up the phone? Just let me know in the chat box real quick.
Oh yeah, they hate them already.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone hates the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper's like that. The gatekeeper's like that guy in school or that girl in school that just everyone can't stand because they're so popular that you have to go through them. Like, come on now, get out of here. So I personally though don't mind dealing with them at all because I know I have some awesome stuff that their boss is definitely gonna want. Okay, which is how to make more money. So here's what you can say to them, and this is literally almost word for word a script that I recite more often than not. Now, once again, like all things, it's not like a magic golden script. It's not going to work 100% of the time. Plus, it also depends on your tonality and a bunch of other things. But for me, I have a really good conversion rate with it, okay? So when I give them a call, this is kind of what I say. I was looking for, and for me, I'm just going to go after chiropractor, right? But you can say whatever niche you're in is. So I was looking for a chiropractor in New York and came across your website since you were ranked on the first page. Or if they're ranked number 1, number 2, you definitely want to let them know if it is the first page, what position you found them in, and you're going to find out why a little bit later. So, position you were ranked in number 1. I thought it was completely awesome since your site wasn't there yesterday when I was looking for a chiropractor. I have no idea how you guys did it that quickly, but that's so cool. Can you tell me if you're taking on any new patients and when would be the earliest time I could schedule an appointment? Okay? And then here comes the hardest part that most people struggle with is waiting, okay? I understand everyone wants money right away, but sometimes you gotta wait, okay? So what you do is you end up ending the call and politely saying that you're still shopping for a chiropractor or whatever. Then you're going to want to give them a call back 2 days later. Okay, now I'm going to go over why in a second. Now that 2 days have passed, you give them a call back, but now you're no longer a potential customer. Okay, you call as yourself and you say something along these lines of, hey, how are you? Just want to let you know that I ranked your site to #1 about 2 days ago for free, and I was wondering if I could talk to whoever would be in charge of deciding if they wanted to keep that ranking. So why am I doing it this way, and why am I waiting 2 days? Well, let's think about it for a second. The gatekeeper gets probably hundreds of calls a day, and if it's really busy, sometimes thousands, right? So you called as a potential customer, which they love. They want to deal with customers. They don't want to deal with advertisers. And you complimented them on how awesome it was that they're now ranking. Now, this person knows for a fact that they weren't ranking, okay? Any good gatekeeper already knows what's going on in the business. They get all these calls, they field them all day long, they know what's going on. So they know for a fact they weren't ranking. So usually they'll immediately go and tell their boss, within the hour, sometimes a little bit longer, but more often than not within an hour. And then their boss is going to be curious, and they're going to want to investigate to see, how the hell is it possible that their site is ranked #1 now out of nowhere. So what happens is they notice that it's not their site, but they're going to click on #1 anyway, and then they notice their site loads inside of it through the overlay. Now this is going to make them wonder something along the lines of, WTF. Now fast forward 2 days later, you're going to be the guy or girl that they've been wanting to speak to because for the past 2 days they're wondering, like, how the hell this happened? Who did this? Now you're giving them a call back, and they've been wanting to speak to you. So now you have two things going for you at this point. You have, first off, their attention. Now remember, usually when you call people, you never have their attention. You're speaking to a gatekeeper, you never really get through them. They don't know who you are, so therefore you don't ever have their attention. And most importantly, you have proof, okay? You have proof that you can rank them because they're already ranking. This is the one thing that most businesses get turned off about SEO, is because they've, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, have dealt with someone that has given them crappy SEO services that have promised them the sun, the stars, and the moon. And when you give them a call later, they've kind of heard the whole speech already. They've had a bad experience, and they think you're not going to be able to rank them just like the other person they dealt with. Well, the big difference here is you have proof, okay? And the best part of all this is, at the end of the day, if this person doesn't want to deal with you, well, you go ahead and call back the other 10 businesses you called that first day. Because let's think about it. It's not like you just called this one business that day. You called a bunch of them in a row and did the exact same script. Okay? And that's pretty much all I have for rank and rent. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to start tossing them in the chat box, and I'll answer as many as I can.
That's a genius strategy. It's really good.
Yeah, that was awesome, Gregory. That was really great, and it was complete too. So let's here's what I want. I want everyone to get in. Let me Gregory, let me take this. You done with this screen?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let me take this screen back, and what I want, dude, is I want everybody to give a big thank you to Gregory, because man, he didn't have to go through this. I mean, this is something he does for his own group, and he came out, he did it for us. So, man, I just want to get like at least 150 thank yous for Gregory, because this is something that's awesome. And Gregory comes on with me every week. He volunteers, he helps me out, so he's always an incredible help. And now what he's done for us here has been awesome. So, yeah, so we got a bunch of thank yous coming in, Gregory. So, yeah, we want to big thank yous. We want everyone to know that Gregory really dropped some bombs here today. All right, so let's do this. Let's get some questions in, because we got about 15 more minutes or so. So maybe, yeah, Gregory, if you see some questions you want to hit them, let's just hit them. Okay.
Sure. So first one, I've seen it repeated a couple times in different ways, is people want the script. Okay. You can pretty much, Joe's definitely going to send the replay, and David will upload it, so you guys can definitely watch the replay, pause it. I can also send it over to Joe as well. But once again, you guys are going to want to tweak it a little bit yourself. Only because, think about it, if another OMGer called with the exact same script and then you call later, you're gonna kind of be like, what's going on? The gatekeeper is not a dummy, you know what I mean? So you're gonna want to change it up a bit, but definitely you can use mine as an outline and then change it up so that way it makes sense for your business and for everything else. But don't use it verbatim, okay? Because it will not work if you're the second person to call, for example, or even if you're the first one and someone else calls later. Well, that guy just messed it up for you, or girl messed it up for you, okay?
And the chances of, I don't know if that's like the chance of someone calling like the same person might, that can happen. But the other thing too is I think too, Gregory, and you might agree with me or not, but like whenever I had a script and I just did exactly what the script said, I didn't have a great, I always struggled. But when I took that script and put it into my own words and what, my own background, what I'm used to, I worked like 1,000 times better. So
read the script, understand it, and then just freestyle it when you actually go through the process.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I mentioned before, I have the tonality down pat for when I'm doing it, just as Joe mentioned, I created the script myself. So it's coming from me. That's my personality. So obviously I can portray it. So like Dan mentioned, tailor it towards yourself, okay? Some people are saying it's a great strat, a foot in the door. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know people that are doing solely this. Now, am I recommending you do solely rank and rent? No, but it is something that some people do at the beginning to make some good money. I know I personally make really good money off of my different rank and rent sites. The only one I display publicly is the chiropractor site, okay?
Hey, Greg, I got a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Do you ever dial it down to just the state level, or do you only go national? Like, for example, instead of going, national, state, city, just go state. Like the main domain would be focused on, Alabama chiropractors, and then that focuses on just the cities. Do you see any benefit to niching down another level? Any advantage to that, or disadvantage?
Yeah, so I've practiced that and I've tried it, and it works pretty well when you're going after more competitive niches. So, for example, if like chiropractors are pretty competitive, but let's imagine that I was just starting out, right? I might want to do, just as you said, a specific state, because maybe that's my home state and I'm used to it, and then I can go ahead and get the cities within it, because then I'm not trying to go after the whole United States. The only reason I went after the whole United States for this case study was because it was just that, a public case study for all the students, so I wanted to have as much content and as many pages as possible. But typically, yeah, most people might want to go not at a national level at the beginning, starting at the state level, the same way you do local SEO. You start small, and then, just like we always say, you got to learn to crawl before you walk, right? So you can definitely start that way.
Okay, that's a good point.
Hey, Gregory, people are asking how to get the software you use. Is that software available?
Oh, yeah.
People can get?
Yeah, it's from Alex and myself. It is a sourceccs.com. So SOURCECCS.com.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Becker, and I'm just.
There we go. I just went to the site to verify.
Can you put the link? Yeah, can you put the link in the question box? Maybe even drop it in. Drop it in there, or drop it in the Facebook group or something.
Yeah. All right. There you go. And I know some people have mentioned other things that do it. Yeah, there might be. I just use Source CCS because, as you know, I'm part of SourceWave, so that's what I use. But from what I know, it's the best one. So, all right. Next up, how long did it take you to rank that particular site from day one? So it's a huge site. If you mean like a specific page, I slowed it down because, like I said, it was a case study. So I wanted people to learn step by step how I did it. Like I literally recorded it from day one on. For ranking for Birmingham, that took about, I want to say, 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was about 2 weeks for Birmingham to end up ranking. Okay. It's a CCS, Joe. Yeah, there you go. And then next up, so are you ranking 10 different businesses in the same city? Well, you're not ranking businesses, okay? What you're ranking are pages, okay? So you're going to rank, you're not going to rank 10 different businesses in the same city because you want to rent that one city page. You can't rent that one page to 10 different businesses because you can only have one business overlaid on top of it, okay? So every city is going to go to one business. You can definitely have 10 cities within one state, sure. How do you price your site? So this is another question that I get asked often. Pretty much it's kind of just going back and forth. Like I didn't hit a sweet spot for specific size cities until I kept playing with it. And every niche is different. So I can't tell you, hey, if it's a small city, charge $300 because that may not make sense. You know, you might be going after plastic surgeons. They get paid a lot more than chiropractors. So why wouldn't you charge them more? Or, you know, on the opposite side, maybe you're going after locksmiths and they may not get paid as much as a chiropractor, so you're going to charge less. It all depends on your niche. But you got to go back and forth on the prices. You're going to get to know a few times based on the price. And based on there, you can kind of figure out how much it should cost you, okay? Or how much you should charge, rather. Let me see. You mentioned post and permalinks. Why didn't you use pages? No, I actually did use pages on that site, Tasha. It's just when you're setting up the permalink structure, it doesn't matter if it's pages or posts. You still have to set it up that way. Okay. Next up, how do you do the same for so many potential clients on the same day? It's easy, really. I mean, you sit down, you plan your day out and say, okay, for 2 hours straight, I'm going to call people. Now, if you recite what I had written down, I mean, you guys saw it took me all of 5 minutes to read it. Of course, that's not having interaction from the other person, right? So let's imagine the call. I mean, like, think about it. When you call a brand new dentist for yourself, that call might last maybe like 15 minutes, okay? So if you have 2 hours, you know you're going to knock out, what is that, 8 people? Yeah, you'll knock out 8 people within that hour. So that day, you just called 8 potential clients. You just plan it out that way.
Yeah, and Gregor, I think this goes along too with kind of what we were talking about last week is like really if you think about the time that it takes you to sit down and just do it, it's not that much time. I think people get scared or they don't want to do it or they're afraid to do it or they procrastinate. But it's like, man, even if you make a couple calls and they bomb, who cares? You just keep doing it, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest things, Joe, just like you mentioned. A lot of people have fear of rejection, and you got to think about it. Like, you're going to get rejected all the time. Almost every single good business person, male or female, that I've spoken to has gotten rejected hundreds of times in different aspects of life. They've been rejected in relationships. They've been rejected in business. They've been rejected by potential clients, but they never stopped. So if you become one of those people that end up stopping, then what's the point in beginning, to be honest with you? I mean, not to be a jerk, but it's the truth. Like, if you're gonna let some stranger tell you no, they don't want to buy your site that's ranked #1, and then you're all down and out about it, then maybe this isn't the right thing for you. You know, you should just go ahead and be like, okay, well, too bad for you. I'm gonna find someone else that's gonna benefit from it. Think about it. People want more clients. Just like you want more clients, so do they. And you're going to find that person eventually. Like, I got turned down a bunch of times. I didn't let it stop me. I kept going. So don't let it stop you either.
Yeah, you have to be more scared of failing than of rejection.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only sure way to fail is by not even bothering to pick up that phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So another question. So, sorry, John, what were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with Dan. That's a good point. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if you're more afraid of failing than, you know, you have to be more afraid of failing than rejection. So,
yeah, it's true. Next up is, so you only use PBNs to power the rankings, not social or 2.0. Yes, just PBNs. I don't use 2.0s or any of that stuff ever. Next up, Google won't penalize the rank and rent site for thin content, ? This is one of those things that I don't worry about, to be honest with you, until it happens. I mean, I have tons of rank and rent sites that are all skeleton-ish, and they all rank, and I'm making money with them. And if Google wants to penalize me for thin content, they're going to give me a warning, right, in Webmaster Tools. And when that happens, then I just add a crap load more content, if it's making me money. But at the beginning, I don't worry about all the content like I mentioned because I don't want to spend a lot of time until I know it's making me some money. You always got to care about your ROI.
And then, Gregory, there's another question that's been popping up. Will Google penalize you for having that overlay on the site?
As far as I know, there's nothing happening in the near future. I mean, once again, like, no one can predict what kind of penalty is going to roll out until it does. You could just do best practices. But for right now, it works. So if it's working right now, then just continue to use it, okay?
Right.
The day it stops working, hopefully at that point you've already made enough money and you've diversified into other things of online money making, that you're going to be fine. So right now, there's a lot of you guys on here who are either A, struggling to make your first online money, or B, aren't making as much as you want. So you can go ahead, do this pretty quickly and pretty easily, because as you saw, the sites are all skeletonish looking. You can knock it out pretty quickly, and then you'll make some money.
And then Gregory too is, and I could be wrong on this, but isn't it that when Google crawls your site, they see the content that's on your site, they don't really see the overlay, like, so they still see your page and your content and everything else.
Yeah,
that's
exactly
on your site. So it's not like, so they're when they crawl the site, they're looking at your site normally without this overlay. So the only way someone would know is if they did a manual review or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get to the point where it's a manual review, you just kind of roll with the punches. But like I said, hopefully you've already made enough money from it, and you have more than one going at that point anyway.
Yeah, and the chances of that happening is really small, of a manual review, like really small. So I think the point is it's not like if you do this overlay, then the Google bot comes out and crawls it and they're like, oh, this guy's doing something funky. It doesn't work that way. So it's a pretty safe way to go for now, yeah.
Yeah, I've had this chiropractor site up for, I believe it's like 9 or 10 months now, and nothing has happened to it. So.
Right. And two, as far as to even more emphasize that if somebody was going to get a manual review, it would be Gregory, because he shows the site on Source University and everybody knows this site. So if somebody was going to get one, he would have got one. Okay, so
yeah.
It's not like
I'm definitely going to be the first one to get a manual review if anyone does. So. All right. Next up, this is a good question. What happens with the schema for the stars once someone stops renting the page and a new client comes in? Well, this is where the beauty of the iframe works, is pretty much the stars are attributed to your site, not theirs, okay? Those stars are on your page. So you could keep swapping out clients, it doesn't matter. The stars show up thanks to your page, not that business. So any business that goes on there is still going to display the same star count, okay? It's your page that has those stars. Next up is, how do you build them? I mean, any way that you build most people. Source CCS has a billing system inside of it set up. I let that do all of it for me. So when they click rent, I have PayPal integrated in there. If they pay through PayPal, it automatically charges them every single month, etc. But if you want to do it manually, you can do it that way too. How do you build PBNs for rank and rent? The exact same way you build PBNs for anything else. I don't treat it as though it's anything different. To me, every page is a new money site, essentially. So I link my PBNs and build them the same way. How did you rank so fast within 2 weeks? Just like I said, it was lower competition. Like if I went after New York right away, that wouldn't have happened. And, I want to build my own confidence too, so I go with something that's not that competitive at first. Let me see. How many PBNs did you use? That's a question, honestly, I never answer for anything, really. The short answer is I just kept pointing PBNs till it ranked. As far as an exact number, I wouldn't tell, because if someone else wants to outrank me, they'll just use more than me, right? So, but I just kept pointing until I ranked. But it wasn't very many.
Hey, Gregory, how does it work with mobile sites? Some people are asking.
From my understanding, it works just fine. I tested it a bunch. I'll do it right now, though. If you guys go ahead and you Google Boston Chiropractor, Birmingham Chiropractor, either one of those, you should be able to see. I'll do it right now, live.
Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, you could just look and see.
Yeah. So, yeah, it loaded the other site on top of it. So it's the exact same thing. Yeah, because I tested it when Source CCS first came out and it worked. But yeah, it still works.
Yeah, it works good. It uploads the mobile site from the other site, so yeah. Yeah.
All right, next up.
Yeah, it uploads the mobile version of the other site, so.
Yes. Let's see. Next up, Jim. Jim, I'm assuming you're asking because you got Network Crusader. Like we said on that webinar, everyone will get their PBNs by Friday, which is tomorrow. Okay, it's Friday U.S. time. I'm not sure if you're another part of the world would already turn Friday for you, but Friday, U.S. time is when you guys will get it by on that day. Let's see. Do you point your PBN straight to the city or state pages or the main domain? Mostly the straight city. Sometimes I'll diversify it and point to state, but mostly the city page itself. Like I said, just pretend each page is its own money site. Okay? And let's see what we got here. I'll do like 2 more questions because we're already at 12:43. Can Schema Stars be added to the homepage? I've never seen a site that has a homepage with Schema Stars. Have you, Joe or Dan? I've never seen it. I've tried, but
no, I haven't.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, I think it's just inner pages. All right, and then we'll do one last question real quick. Would you call it a directory regardless of the niche? No. I only have mine called a directory simply because that was a website that I purchased in auctions in GoDaddy. It was available. I saw it. I thought it was a great name. I wanted to get into chiropractors before I decided to do Rank and Rent. And I was like, I want to get into chiropractors. It's a good name, National Chiropractors Directory. Hey, I can do something with this for a lot of people. And I just purchased it. You don't have to name it that. No, you can have any name you want, the same way you can with any other niche. Okay? And that's pretty much it, Joe. We're towards the end of the questions, yeah?
Yeah, thanks, Gregory. I appreciate that, man. That was awesome. Thanks for fielding all those questions. And guys, and don't get too, I know like a lot of questions pop into your heads and there's all these roadblocks that come up and should I do this? Should I do this? That you just really got to start it and start doing it. Like some people are asking, can we apply AMP to this? Which, I mean, that's a great question, but I wouldn't even worry about that. Like, who cares? Like, just do what works. And if it ranks, if you're iframing the client site, then just do it. Don't worry about all this other stuff. So I would just say just get on it and just start doing it. And then worry about that stuff once you're ranking, once you have a client, and once you need to get going. But Gregory, that was an incredible presentation. So
yeah, it was really good.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that stuff like AMP and all that stuff is great. I equate that to like people who go, want to go to the gym and work out and try to get huge, and they're just trying to look for all these supplements. It's like just eat right and work out, and then that stuff will take you like the extra 2% of the way where you need to get to. But you need the core principles of what works first.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it, man. I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. I want to thank everybody. I don't know if anyone has any last words, Dan, or Gregory. This is a pretty good lesson, huh, Dan? Did you pick up some
that was really good.
Site?
Yeah, between last week's webinar and this week, I've already built out my site, pretty much mirrored it after Gregory's, and I'm almost done with it, really. I just have to, well, you know the niche I'm going after. It's an emerging niche, so I need to wait until it hits. So once it does, I'll rank for everything. I mean, it's already starting to rank now, actually, per city, so I'll own the entire area.
Yeah. So, no, that's awesome. So, all right. Well, good deal. And any last words of wisdom, Gregory?
Not really, other than just go ahead, like we always say, take action. Don't get bogged down, like Joe said, on all the different things that could come up or the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Just go ahead, do it. Build your site. Get things done, and as you start messing things up little by little, because you are going to, I mess up all the time, just like Joe, and you just go ahead and you roll with the punches, and you keep moving from that point forward. But don't just sit there and be one of those people that watch the webinar, comments on everything, loves all the ideas on it, and then doesn't go out and actually build one. Like, go out there, build it, make some money.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Gregory. Yeah, and then so this is gonna kind of wrap up our little series on lead gen, rank and rent, and stuff like that. We may do a couple more of these, more lessons here and there, but next week we're going to start on organizing, building systems, and kind of building out a plan and getting going. So we're going to have some special guests on. I know Gregory has ways that he likes to organize, and Dan does too. Maybe we'll bring Dan on again and some other people. So until next week, everyone have a great day and have a great week. And, just go and take massive action. So we'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Thanks. Take care.